Hi, Manila Chan here with a little bit of history for you today as an LA native who has firsthand memory of the LA riots growing up just a few miles down the road from where it all transpired. It was 30 years ago this week in 1992 that a significant portion of Los Angeles was allowed to burn to the ground by authorities, and the Korean American community in South Central LA was trapped by police corridors. That was when the immortal images of the so-called rooftop Koreans, or simply roof Koreans in some circles, made its rounds all through US media. The LA riots began from racial tensions smoldering the year before after the videotaped beating of motorist Rodney King made national news, and the lesser covered but still widely known case, at least by LA residents, of the shooting death of Latasha Harlins, a 15-year-old girl who got into an altercation with a Korean shop owner in 1991. Harlins was shot dead by the shopkeeper, who received what many criticize as a light sentence for the charges that were actually brought against her. The nearly week-long chaos erupted after a mixed jury acquitted four white LAPD officers accused of police brutality in that King case, coupled with an already unhappy public following the Harlins case all around the same time. The six-day riot saw over $1 billion in losses and damages. Some 3,000 businesses were looted, burned, or destroyed. 50% of those were Korean-owned. 63 people died as a direct result of the violence that enveloped the city. More than 2,000 people were injured, and some 12,000 arrests were made. Though most of those wounds have healed 30 years on, the images of the rooftop Koreans live on, emblematic of an armed citizenry doing what they had to do when police can't, or in this case, wouldn't help. LAPD was overwhelmed by the thousands of violent rioters, many of whom directed their rage specifically at perceived Korean or Asian shops. Mayor Tom Bradley and police officials retreated from the core of the violence known today as K-Town and instead set up corridors to contain the violence and looting, to keep it from spreading into more affluent communities of Los Angeles, such as nearby Hancock Park and the Mid-Wilshire district. Korean Americans were effectively trapped, forced to defend their homes, families, and businesses themselves using high-capacity semi-automatic rifles such as the now banned Tech-9 that can hold up to 100 rounds. Images of shop owners were captured by news helicopters and the press, the only ones who dared to enter those riot zones. 1990s Los Angeles proved to be one of the deadliest eras in the City of Angels history due to the crack epidemic sweeping South Central, a wave of Asian and Latino immigrants moving in to then historically Black neighborhoods, and the perceived racial inequality African Americans felt played a role in the judicial outcomes of the Rodney King case, as well as the Latasha Harlins murder. Today, some 30 years later, the rooftop Koreans live on in the memories of many and hailed by some as vigilante heroes, especially in the way of bucking the stereotype of the passive, the agreeable, nerdy Asian. These Korean Americans are now the stuff of urban legend, and to this day, no charges have ever been brought against them. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and subscribe to my channel and to Slanted Online here on YouTube to keep up with all the news minus the slant. I'm Manila Chan for Slanted Online.